Dude, I've been singing that too.
It's
We
in my head.
carry the flame. Do you know all the words?
No, I don't. I just know that.
I know the whole chorus. I'm gonna potentially see if I can find a megaphone and sing it towards Amfest while I'm there.
You're really giving us the higher ground here, Soy Pill.
Well, we'll be
You're
on the
very
same
optics
even ground
filled.
because I'll be on the I'll be on the other side of the sidewalk. So I'm putting myself on their level. You know, I think that's fair.
What would Wick do? That's I always think WWWD.
Wick would cuck out and say, "Celebrating the death of Hitler is evil. You can't do that."
Guys, welcome to a cross ideological space where we confront ideas from the silly to the serious. And yeah,
that's good Wick.
Pretty good, huh?
We were kind of wondering a lot. Well, I was wondering aloud if the human species survives like 200 more years. Just imagine how difficult it's going to be for professors and teachers to teach their kids about like the memes of this.
The Orange Man. Oh, the memes.
Like we're all just collectively going to look like complete fucking lunatics.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to study your tweets, Hutch. They're gonna be like, "This is Hutch." True. And he is an example of a particular movement in time that existed, and they're gonna all like be doing analysis on all your snarkers. It'll be great.
No, Soy Pill's the snarky one. He's the edgelord.
You're a bit of an edgelord, bro. I even thought the Rob Reiner tweet that you made was a little like, what was the point of that?
Wait, which one?
You were like, "We are Rob Reiner," or whatever
because it's
whatever
funny.
it was. It's funny, huh? You think it's funny? You think death is funny?
Yes, I'm specifically celebrating his death. No, I just think, comedy is the way we find peace through tragedy.
That is true. That is very true.
And if you can't joke about it, then what's the point, right? And I try to uplift everyone in times of sadness. Now, I wouldn't sing that song to his family, but sometimes you gotta put a little levity in things, you know?
You know what is pure comedy are the tweets from, I saw like a dozen tweets from right wingers yesterday that were like, "See how we are when one of the left guys."
Oh,
See how we are, and then the fucking president dances on their graves the next day, which was so predictable. By the way, he's done this shit before.
You're talking about this one, right? It's like won't see people on the right celebrating the horrific murder, and then like immediately Trump just comes out. It's like, well, oops.
There were dozens, like literal dozens of posts like Jack Posobiec or whatever. Speaking of him, did you read about that crazy news story involving him?
Which is what? He's an illegal voter, allegedly.
So there's that, but there's a different one. There was a Mother Jones journalist who found somebody who's working underneath Hegseth in the Department of War, and they found this guy's public email address, and he had it linked to. Are you guys familiar with a site called Goodreads? I guess it's like keep track of the books that you're reading and stuff like that. Yeah, well, this guy's Goodreads had like cuckoldry stuff. It had books on like sharing your Asian wife, which is like, we don't kink shame around here. But if you're working with security clearance and, that sort of thing, you could potentially be blackmailed. And so they caught wind of it, like the people in the Department of Defense or whatever. And then like the day that Mother Jones reached out to Hegseth and this guy for comment, Posobiec, who's like one of these sycophantic journalists, quote unquote, that's like that took over for the journalist who refused to sign that pledge. You guys remember that whole thing?
Yeah, when there's like
even Newsmax said no way.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And so they replaced all those real journalists with like fucking Laura Loomer.
Yeah.
The Jack Posobiec reaches out to the journalist who was working on this story and then basically said like the same thing. He's like, he was asking this journalist for comment about her, cuck shit with Asians. He was doing like, "I know you are, but what am I?" kind of thing. But anyways, like the point is that this quote unquote journalist, Jack Posobiec, was basically trying to work behind the scenes to, like blackmail or try to manipulate this reporter into not revealing the story. It's just, not surprising in the Trump era, but it's still pretty insane. But yeah. Anyway.
Well, I think that he's he seems a little bit scared and not frosty to me. He's always accusing people of not being frosty. And to that end, he's blocked me because I used to like doing a little quote tweet, doing a little bit like, "Are you doing some election fraud stuff?" And he really didn't like that. Apparently, there are a lot of these blockers out there. They just love blocking. And these days, I don't know what there is to get real excited about that Trump is doing in the last few weeks. I mean, you must be like, you have to be in favor of like labeling fentanyl as a WMD.
Oh my God.
And you know,
I forgot
saying
about
unhinged
that.
shit about Rob Reiner. I mean, that happened today, right? We forget
Yeah.
shit.
Can you imagine
when,
how easy the Iraq war would have been when he's like, find me WMDs, and they're like, oh, just take like
the fentanyl?
Yeah, I'll just take the heroin coming out of Afghanistan or Iraq or whatever, and call that a WMD. That's close enough.
Sure, we found WMDs. This is the kind of like war on language that we're having to face from the right all the time. That invasion means whatever they want it to mean. Use of force means whatever they want it to mean. That like literally the words, the English language itself is under attack by these freaks of nature. So yeah, and now we have to. I don't see as many, which is I don't know. I guess the tweet is maybe like too objectionable for even some righties to defend it. But there are some righties who are taking the line on the Rob Reiner tweet that he said like rest in peace somewhere in there, or he was like.
Yeah. If you ignore everything in between the opening line and the closing line, it's actually a very gracious message. So,
which is all very great.
Loner has to reschedule, so it's just going to be us four.
Okay. No loner box. Good thing, because I forgot.
I made him tired. We did more Ethan sloppy.
Oh no!
I probably made him tired.
Oh, you know what? I need to do a public correction because I did get something wrong in our conversation. And it is kind of embarrassing because I was so confident about it. But Casey, Tron, and Frogan evidently did not actually weigh in on the CPS thing. I swear to you, I thought I had seen some compilation video or something like that. But I got that wrong. So, I think it is important.
Good faith Hutch. We love it.
I think it is important to
good admission.
Listen, I think that they did contribute to like a crazy culture of harassment, I would say, directed at not even just the clients, but they didn't do that particular thing. So that's me correcting.
Will you both admit you're wrong for caring about it?
No, I don't admit it. And Hutch is gonna now in the next 5 days we're gonna get to him. He's gonna at least maybe Denims to leave that one open for interpretation, but I think he'll say the Casey Tron one is a little bit much. I think he'll get there. We'll work on him.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, I do actually want to ask you guys, like, of all the things I thought that could like split the Republican base, like, what could Trump do that would make them go, eh? And like this Rob Reiner tweet where he's like, publicly saying, he died because he had Trump derangement syndrome, like making this guy's tragic death about himself, which had nothing to do with it. It was about like drugs, apparently. They actually, at the very least, they're not condemning, but they're like, I don't like this, which is like
I wish he didn't say this.
Yeah, sometimes he's a little mean on Twitter,
They're so fucking full of shit.
They're so full of shit.
They're being performative right now because it's like kind of somewhat shortly still after the Charlie Kirk stuff, and so they've all like this is a culture in right wing spaces of total dehumanization. Like they've belittled people who have been murdered, obviously, sometimes for years. George Floyd, there's always like. George Floyd has 6 years sober. It's like a thing that they do every fucking year now. And I think like I straight up think that they're all being performative right now. And they're all doing it just so they can be like, see, we do it this way. It's all bullshit.
Well, Charlie Kirk hasn't said anything racist in 3 months, and I'm proud of him. So it's the point.
Who's the highest profile people to say something? I saw Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey, but have there been other people?
I mean, the president. What do you mean?
No. It's most like spoken against it.
Criticizing.
I don't know.
It's tepid. It's like I wish he would have said something else. I wish he would have like. I mean, he probably had like. I forget what it was on Piers Morgan. There was did you guys see the little segment at the start of the Piers Morgan conversation? So Piers Morgan comes out and he's like, "This is not right." Like this, whatever. And I will even note that he spares criticism for the man himself, right? So a lot of these people spare criticism for the man himself. They'll say that is reprehensible, but they don't go so far as to say this is part of a pattern of Trump's conduct or whatever. And the one woman that I heard, she tried to spin it as it was like an unfortunate statement, and I don't think that he was trying to like jump on his grave or anything, when everyone clearly knows what this was and we can just see it.
And he doubled down too. Yeah. Like they asked him about it at the conference.
And
he no, I'm glad. He was an awful man. And it's like, oh yeah, like this seems like there are a few Trump moments this happens with, but we're like the cult will like step over themselves and bend over backwards to defend it, and then Trump will come out and contradict the entire like narrative that they've invented. And the last big one I can remember, and this happens a lot, but the tariffs were big, but I remember the bleach comment where he was talking about like, wait, can we somehow put like the bleach inside of us? And everyone for a while was like, actually, no. He was talking about this experimental procedure, and it actually does totally clean up. And then Trump's like, I was being sarcastic, and like everything they used to justify completely undermined. This exactly happened again, and it's so evident. It boggles my mind how they don't realize it yet. It's been 10 years. I don't know. Like,
I think they do, and I think they're just lying.
Well, sure, probably.
Well, he did it with the Epstein files. He lobbied against releasing them for months and months, and he's randomly he's like, I don't have a problem with releasing them. Go ahead.
I don't.
He's having a rough, like, I mean, I feel like he's having a rough few months, but he's having like a really rough month. Like he couldn't get the Republicans to not vote for the Epstein stuff. They couldn't get that Indiana map. That's kind of a big deal because I think they were supposed to get 2 or 3 seats. They couldn't get what else am I missing here? There's like there was Letitia James, like 3 times they went to a grand jury 3 separate times trying to get an indictment for her, which is just kind of nuts. I don't know if you guys saw, but Gavin Newsom announced like a new initiative in California. Did you guys see that thing today?
Which one?
On housing or something?
No, he's basically, the premise is they're putting together like a team of scientists to basically be like an advisory board to replace the CDC right now because they're so compromised
with RFK.
Compromised, yeah, with RFK stuff. And so, we got Gavin Newsom kind of undermining him in that way. It's just like he's just down really fucking bad right now.
I'm a little concerned about, like, I appreciate the sentiment and the idea that, like, hey, like, we have a crazy person in charge of HHS right now. But like, I don't know if this is like me like trying to both sides thing. Can you imagine if during the pandemic a independent board was formed in like the state of Florida to be like, we don't trust like the CDC and we have to have our own health to like promote anti-vax stuff? Like, I don't know if that sets a bad precedent for whether or not states can start doing that. But what do you think?
Well, just for advice, I don't think there's a really problem with that. Like, I'm fine with states having their own medical standards, so long as they're not like blatantly violating federal law or whatever. And I'm also concerned by the current advice coming out of the or whatever is coming out. What are the policies coming out of the CDC right now? I saw like some graphic from Fox News noticing like the amount of increase in what kind of cases were they?
Measles.
They were measles cases.
Yeah,
and it's like a plus 1,000% or some insane order of magnitude increase in the amount of those cases. And I'm just like, fuck, bro.
Yeah, it was like a dozen cases per year, up to like, it's either 1,000 or 10,000, but it was like in the thousands. But
reminder, we put one of the head people in charge of the anti-vax push in charge of our healthcare regulations in this country. And by the way, at the time of the election, I remember very vividly Richard Hanania saying, I wouldn't vote. He was supporting Trump at the time. He said, oh yeah, I don't think that they'll put RFK in any position of authority. If I knew they were going to put him at CDC, I wouldn't vote for Trump. Oops.
Hanania's in his defense, though, he did an about face in like 2 fucking weeks. It was like 2 or 3 fucking weeks into the Trump presidency where he was like, I fucked up. That was a mistake. I wish I hadn't.
I know. I appreciate his statements about it, but I just find it funny that people who had the criticisms about the vaccines and all that shit. How it's just another example of being undercut by Trump almost immediately.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But do you guys trust people like that in the coalition where it's like, hey, this is a former like white nationalist? Like, I appreciate that people can change, and
he was
he's like a former like race realist, like Curtis Yarvin-esque, like like he was, and he's full about face now, which is good. But I don't think these people should be like the people we listen to, even if they're saying the things we like. It's like, okay, good job, you switched to the right side. Now be quiet and shut up and atone for your past, right? Like don't be the pundit that's in front. That's my opinion on that. But like, I don't know. I don't know if we should like hold them up to the same level as like any of these other pundits who weren't Nazis in the past.
I mean, there's 2 things I think that work in his favor. Number one, I think like, I mean, I follow him, and number one, I do think he makes a lot of really good observations. Number 2, I find him to be sincere. Like, I don't think he's grifting. Like, I think he is interested in the truth. He's still a conservative. Like when you see that come out sometimes, and so he's still got that kind of foundation. But I think he has valuable insights these days.
Does he have valuable insights, or is he saying the things you already agree with?
No, he
at the very least insights.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, it's not an infrequent thing where he'll make a post and it'll like stop and make me think about something. So I appreciate that.
Okay, that's fair. If he's got that kind of insight, and then I guess he should be listened to. Yeah, fair enough.
Well, I think the goal is to bring people back to the flock, right? And it's how much they get listened to. We can't control that. You know, he's gonna always have an audience.
Fair enough.
Did you guys all catch Pisco's debate with Connor? I thought that was interesting.
Oh my God. Yeah. I would love to take a moment of privilege to talk about that. Because I think it bears a little bit when we're talking about these like ostensible allies from the right or potential allies from the right. And I agree, Connor, he tries to present himself as like one of the good ones. And I like Connor. I like counterpoints. So all of that, counterpoints is my guy. But let's be honest. I think that there are a big clutch of these people, these more centristy types or these more quote unquote traditional Republicans who kind of think the problem starts and ends with Trump. And they don't really view the same negative stuff related to Meatball Ron, related to like even why are you laughing?
You just always do Trump nicknames. You don't ever call them what they are. It's like, hey, it's Marjorie Crater Brown. It's Meatball Ron. Like he's everywhere. You can't get away from the Trump language. He's
or JD Vance. Like and I think that a lot of it's a kind of incoherent critique, if I'm being honest, but I don't think it's not sincerely held by a lot of people. And I think a lot of the people who were accepting their Trump critiques, if you throw on Meatball Ron or if you throw on Vivek, all these people who are basically doing apologia for the administration, they might consider voting for them. And so that's why when we have these kind of arguments about who to bring to the table, who to be part of our coalition, whatever, in a way, it's kind of an artificial conversation for reasons that we've already discussed. But I'm concerned with letting the people who kind of don't view JD Vance as bad, Meatball Ron as bad, or for like Nikki Haley as bad, as having like a significant influence on policy agenda. I think that's unhinged. I mean, these people are all, in my opinion, like metaphorical traitors.
Yeah, and they're in lockstep with Trump. So it's like, okay, do you have a problem with that one guy, or do you have a problem with the movement and its policies? And it seems like a lot of them are just like, oh yeah, Trump bad, but yeah, I'd vote for JD Vance next cycle. And it's like, oh well, what the hell? Like, then why are you on my side again?
It's more important to me how you think than what you think. Yeah, go for it.
Do you think any of their support for Trump, somebody like Nikki Haley, could be for their own personal survival? I mean, I don't just mean career, but like safety. I always think it's asking a lot to have people turn on Trump that are high profile because they got to look over their shoulder for the rest of their life.
I think when you do a kind of public service and you devote yourself to public service, it's a higher calling that if you're unwilling to do those kinds of things and to call it out when it's difficult, you shouldn't be doing it. You should do what George Bush does and just bow out. If you're not able to be a stalwart defender of what you swear an oath to protect, then we don't need you. We don't want you, and you need to leave. And if you're worried about your safety, okay, fine. I understand that. You have a very easy option in front of you. Resign, quit public life.
Yeah, so a lot of these people will disappear, and maybe they won't be publicly disavow Trump and make a big stink about it, but they're not helping him, and that's what these people are doing. So it's like, I have no sympathy for like a Marco Rubio if he truly despises everything Trump's doing. It's like, okay, then stop. You don't have to become the Trump hater and fear for your life if that's really what you're worried about. Just resign. Like, you have enough money to retire, just go away. But they don't do that. So
they're all. I think they're all. Maybe not all of them, but I think like 90% of Republican politicians are all making a Faustian bargain. Like, I think I'm so convinced the vast majority of those people know that he is narcissist. They know he's kind of crazy. They definitely know that he's diminishing. And I'm sure the internal logic for all of them is, I'm just going to, grit my teeth and kind of white knuckle through this so that I could position myself to lead the party at the end of this. I'm sure that's what Vance is doing. I'm positive that's what Rubio's doing. But
Mike Johnson, it's just, I didn't see that.
Easy.
I don't know what he did. What are you talking about?
One additional point there, IRI. It's not just for what happened before. It's not just that, right? Because there is a certain kind of just desserts. There's a kind of like, you guys ever watch The Godfather? You have to answer for Santino, that kind of shit, right? You have to answer for what you did. Like, there is that element to that, but even put that aside, it's about the future. These people, if they're willing to do that, what else are they willing to do? Are they willing to do it for Fuentes? I think Fuentes is worse than Trump. I've been honest about that. I think the Groyper stuff could be more dangerous than Trump. I think that what comes after Trump might be worse. J.D. Vance might be worse than Trump when in his full form at some point. Who knows? And if they're willing to do it for Trump, this brute, this savage, this creature, then they're going to be willing to do it for almost anything. I mean, I don't know where is the line.
I shouldn't say again, but I'm not trying to make excuses for them. I'm just trying to understand, because unfortunately we haven't won over the whole nation on the left. And so we do need some decent people to work with over on that side. And I wonder if people like Nikki Haley can fill that void. But I share your concern that if they did it this time, they could do it in the future.
I mean, if Nikki Haley won a primary and she won a presidency, I would still have plenty of like deep concerns. I would still, I'm sure, disagree with a lot of her policies, but I don't know about you guys, but I would not be as nearly as hyper vigilant as I am with Trump. Like if Vance did, I think that's different though, because I think he is a bit cunning, and I think he's got a really fucked up worldview. I think I think he's bad news. But if it was Haley, I don't know, that wouldn't freak me out as much.
Maybe not, but like, I agree with you, Hutch. I'm not going to say any but there, but I will say with respect to Connor, given the choice between Mamdani, AOC, or Bernie, and Nikki Haley, he would easily pick Haley. Given the choice between those three and Meatball Ron, he'd pick Meatball Ron. Given the choice between those three and JD Vance, he'll pick JD Vance. And so what we're not like getting from him is a wholesale condemnation of the thing of it. And the thing of it is not just limited to Trump. It's farther than that. The rot goes deeper. And the proof is, when Trump is gone, we're going to have a lot of work left to do. And that won't mean that we're not going to be able to just throw out half the country. You're right about that, IRI. These are people that we need to live with, and we need to find a way to coexist with. Absolutely. But it doesn't mean that I think that we need to like self-select for leaders who have proven themselves to not be able to have the courage that is required for their oath.
Well, so speaking of hypervigilance, I do think that Connor is very hypervigilant about authoritarian socialism. And I think he's correct to point out that authoritarian socialism is horrifying, but I think he's too hypervigilant. Like, I think he sees a more clear path to something like Maoist China through AOC and Mamdani.
And through Newsom. He's worried about Newsom.
Well, I saw that part, but he was saying like if he had a conversation with Hassan and was kind of chummy with him, he would be really off put by that. But to be honest with you, so would I. Like, it wouldn't make me not vote for Gavin Newsom, but
he was chummy with Bannon. He was chummy with Charlie Kirk.
I mean, you raise a good point there. I'd have to think about that. Maybe that is a contradiction.
I mean, Mamdani was chummy with Hassan. Did that put you off of him completely?
It didn't put me off of him completely, but to me, it just felt like bad judgment. But to be clear, I mean, I feel like I criticized Newsom when he was chummy with
so did I.
Kirk, right?
Yeah. We could definitely have our critiques of Newsom in terms of if he's too chummy with Hassan, especially if Hassan says something fucking insane and he doesn't like counteract them, as by the way Kirk was doing. Right. One thing is using someone's platform and them saying like unobjectionable things because they're hiding their power levels or whatever, versus in front of you, Charlie Kirk, Cenk is saying, "Congratulations, Charlie Kirk, on a revolution well done." Or like Kirk is spouting off some bullshit in front of Newsom, and Newsom is just kind of like, now I understand the Ezra Klein spin, which is, you were listening. I saw you, and you were listening. And listen, I love Ezra and all that shit's cool or whatever. I do love Ezra. No one loves Ezra more than me. I fucking love Ezra. I fucking love him. He's a good guy. But at the same time, let's just be honest here. That was a little fucking shitty or whatever. So the context is going to matter. That said, I never said that him hanging out with Newsom and doing that shit was disqualifying, right? Even him being chummy with a MAGA person is not disqualifying, right? And so for Connor to be like, well, if he was chummy with Hassan Piker, it would be disqualifying because I think he might be a secret Maoist. I'm like, looking at him like this, and half my audience is like, Pisco, you're like such a Hassan simp. I can't believe that this wouldn't be disqualifying for you for Newsom. And I'm just like, maybe I'm not sharing the same planet as everyone in my audience, but I just don't view that as a disqualifying thing for him to do.
Well, I think Connor sees stuff like, I don't know if you guys have seen like recent I feel like I've seen like 5 recent polls where there's like 40% of the country thinks, or 40% of the Democratic Party thinks that like socialism would be a good idea. I think he sees that and he gets really freaked out because his mind goes to, you know, Pol Pot and Stalin and Mao and all that stuff. But I think the reality is like most people, in my opinion, most people in this country, when they say we could use a little socialism, what they mean is like social democratic policies. They mean like a robust welfare state. They don't mean literally seizing the means of production and going down, like having a vanguard party, that kind of a thing. And I think that's where he's sort of missed what you were saying in that conversation.
What do you think is more likely, Hutch? Do you think it's more likely that Gavin Newsom will influence Hassan's audience to electoralism? Or do you think it's more likely that Hassan will influence Newsom into Maoism?
I think it's more likely that Hassan would leech, I think he would get he would elevate his name recognition. Like he would get his name out there more, and Gavin would get like nothing out of that interview. So if Gavin did an interview or they were being kind of chummy, I would chalk that up to bad judgment. Like I honestly think a lot of the people that are interviewing Hassan, they don't really know the full extent of his tankiness.
Wait, do you think Gavin had bad judgment when he met with a dipshit like me?
No. No, I mean, I would not, no, because I think you believe in like liberal values. I think you believe in like liberal democracy. So yeah.
But if Gavin wouldn't have any material benefit to himself with Hassan Piker, then why is everyone pissed at his coverage of like the election and stuff of Kamala? Because I think that there's an assumption you have to have it one way. Either Hassan is influential to a group of people, in which case we can ascribe some sort of, thought regarding his conduct, or he's not, in which case who cares? So like, I feel like people are trying to have this Schrodinger situation where, Hassan is so influential when it comes to condemning him for his failure to support Kamala vigorously, which by the way, I condemn in the strongest possible terms that he did not name Kamala when he did his little vote shit. That is chicken shit. And I do condemn that. And everyone knows I condemn that. Always have. I condemn it with Mom Donnie. Did that. That was chicken shit too. But let's be honest about what the influence is here and which the directionality is in. If Newsom were to do that, it would be to his benefit to do. And I'm sure he would make it in such a way that he couldn't get sort of negatively tagged with it. And people are on notice about that, just like Mamdani, right? He's going to get briefed before his meeting with Hassan. And to the extent that like someone tries to be like, oh, you met with Hassan Piker, he'll just be like, well, I condemn that statement. I condemn that. And we don't need to turn into another cancel culture type of people, right?
It's Pisco. It's the reason he met with Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon. It wasn't like, hey, let's make these guys look better. It's, hey, let's see if I can make the Democrats like at all appeal to some of these like people that flocked for the wrong reasons to these guys. He could get that out of Hassan. There's a non-insignificant amount of Hassan's audience that would say, oh, this guy is talking about things that I care about, that Hassan talks about, like better healthcare and better policy, and like now I maybe will vote for him, even if Hassan doesn't explicitly endorse. Like that's helpful for him. Like he wants to do that. That's why he meets with any of these like influencer people. It's like, let's get my reach out there.
And if it gets a little chippy, Newsom's going to win that debate. The dude is smart. He's not a dumb guy. He's a sharp guy. Yeah. And he has the figures and he's got the facts.
Just to be clear, I'm not saying that Hassan should be blacklisted. Like I think you can have conversations with Hassan and it can be super productive. Like I really enjoyed his conversation with Lovett because Lovett, pushed back somewhat tepidly, but he pushed back. More recently, there's been another example of that happening where, they have a conversation. But if you're having a conversation with him and it's obviously you have no idea what he's really all about, and you just look unprepared, then I think that just helps Hassan and just hurts it just hurts liberalism. It just hurts liberals. It just hurts the Democratic Party.
If you don't come prepared to play. And
yeah. You should know someone's backstory. Like the fact that Hassan gets up there and self-identifies as a progressive is just kind of ridiculous. And he does that very intentionally.
Can we do some role play, Hutch? All right. I'm going to be Gavin Newsom. Okay. And you're going to be my camping advisor, right? Ready?
Okay.
And I want to be your hot campaign manager that you cheat on your wife with.
That was 2 decades ago. Okay? The man atoned. All right.
Okay. So I say, hey, Mr. Campaign Manager, someone reached out. His name is Hassan Piker. He wants to do a little meet and greet with me at the DNC. Should I do that?
At the DNC? No, not at the DNC. Absolutely not. No.
Why shouldn't I do that?
Because it's a coronation. That's what the DNC is. It's just an unbridled celebration of the Democratic Party and our candidates. And Hassan is actively hostile towards the party and our candidates. So
I hear what you're saying. I totally agree. But would it be good for the campaign?
I don't think so. No. What is he going to get out of that campaign? Come on, seriously.
All right. Well, maybe we can do it in like 2 weeks, and he'll say he'll have me in California in his mansion. Maybe I'll do that, and we can get all the Twitch viewers. What do you think? Good idea?
Hey, listen, I think that could be a good idea if it's a different setting and you do a lot of prep for it and make sure that, Newsom is prepared for this sort of a thing. But
no, you're my manager. I'm Newsom. Don't fucking talk to me in third party, bitch.
Pisco, why does Gavin Newsom sound like a plantation owner? Well, I do declare that we're meeting with Hassan at the DNC. Like,
well, I just think that there's a way in which that I think he would do it. I think Newsom would do it, and I think you would abide it, and you would be chill with it because you think you have a good feeling for Newsom. I think you probably are leaning in his direction right now of a lot of the people there, and I think that you would trust him to do it, right?
Newsom, yeah.
Okay.
I would trust a lot of Democrats to have that conversation for sure. Yeah. And you don't need to be like very aggressive or hostile. You can even be amicable, but there just needs to be pushback. That's all.
That's all I'm saying. And I don't want to be like, for him, if he considers it in his interest to do that, to like, I don't know, protect democracy from JD Vance and these like frog people. If he considers that in his interest, I want him to have the grace to do that and not us being like fucking counterpoints and being like, he's a Maoist, he's hiding his power level, he's going to institute fucking a 5-year plan. Like, I don't want that shit going on.
Yeah.
Or having to fucking have constant debates about it. But I'm sure that will have to happen.
For the record, Hutch, what's worse, meeting with Hassan or meeting with Steve Bannon?
They're both bad in their own ways.
Come on. Come on.
I think they're both bad in their own ways. If there's not enough,
but one's worth. Yes or no?
You guys, how much do you guys know? Hold on. How much do you guys actually know about Hassan's politics?
He's a tanky. Is he a fascist?
Father of the alt-right? Like, come on.
But he is an authoritarian tanky.
And Steve Bannon
is a father of the alt-right.
Horrible. That's my point.
Oh my God. Do you think Hassan is as bad as Steve Bannon?
In his own way? Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Guys, what do you think? What is
I am the least forgiving of Hassan, and I think that's insane to be saying these two things are equivalent.
I don't know. Has Bannon ever said he would be okay with like re-education? Like, I don't even know if he's gone that far.
Re-education, sure. I know the quote.
Steve
We've
Bannon
had this conversation
is a white
before.
nationalist neo-Nazi, dude. What do you mean? Who cares? He wants to kick
They're
out
doing
all the
that
brown
shit
people.
right now.
We have totally different opinions of like how seriously awful authoritarian socialism is, I suppose. I don't know. I think it's horrible. I think
I look forward to seeing this on the Yeet Twitter account. Hassan, like, or whatever that clip.
Why are you worried about Hassan talking to Gavin Newsom? Gavin Newsom would annihilate him. Gavin Newsom is like a debate pro for fun. You think Hassan's gonna win any argument? He's gonna make Hassan look silly if he fights him. And anyways, Hassan will come out looking bad because he platformed Gavin and didn't push back on this or that.
Yeah, it'll put more pressure on Hassan.
Yeah, that's why I told you, just not at the DNC. The DNC is a fucking coronation. You don't need the controversy. It's just
if Hassan's
sacred, the DNC is sacred.
If Hassan's already there, which he will be, of course, then why not?
Yeah, did Hassan like do the like Gen 6 helping out? Did Hassan do like the like infection of like the Stephen Miller groups into our, like, he has influence?
Tell it to Kaya,
talk about like the actual like danger proposed by this person and their influence in politics. Like, Hassan is not even fucking close to Steve Bannon, in my opinion.
I mean, Steve Bannon for sure has way more like national profile. Like, more people know who he is for sure. So in terms of like the totality of bad, of course, Bannon is worse. But in terms of their ideology, like, let me ask you: would you rather live in Stalinist USSR?
I would rather Hassan be president than Steve Bannon. Like,
or Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Or Nazi Germany.
Or Nazi Germany. Yeah.
I would pick the USSR.
Okay. Well, I mean,
would you rather live in Nazi Germany?
It's like pick your poison, bro.
But pick your poison.
I don't want
to. You agree with me. So you agree with me. So you agree with me.
I would leap off of the highest mountain in Minecraft if you made me choose between those two things.
Yes. But then those of us who have to choose because we don't want to do that,
because we're not cowards. We don't take the Minecraft way out, Hutch. We make a choice. We make a stand.
we're going to get the enmity from you fence sitters. But maybe some people will bite the bullet and say, at least in Nazi Germany, blah, 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 blah.
You might think it's a clear decision, but tens of millions dead due to famine, torture, political imprisonment, murder. I mean, that's not an easy
Hassan might support an ideology that does this as a consequence, but he doesn't genuinely support that. He might just be misled into believing something that would result in those consequences.
No,
Steve Bannon is like, yes, I fully support deporting and killing people. Like, that's the difference here.
No, you're wrong about Hassan. He fully supports like the authoritarian measures that Mao and Stalin and Lenin took. He 1000% co-signs it. You guys just aren't up to date on the war.
No, listen. I think the soy pill is becoming tanky, and he's downplaying on purpose for grifting purposes.
Yes.
I do think that he said before, signaled that he's a Marxist-Leninist, and that is a kind of adoption of the ideology which pervaded that system. And so, soy pill, do you not condemn Marxist-Leninism?
No, I do condemn MLs.
And do you deny that Hassan has expressed that he's an ML?
I think do
you deny that?
No. I think clearly he's like in that camp and all that. But I think like to the degree to which he endorses like the
he is like Stalin. So Hutch was right. So why were you talking shit about Hutch?
No, I think the degree to which he would endorse and promote the policies, like I've heard him say like, oh, like the landlord's blood in the streets.
You don't really believe it. That's Hutch's critique. Is that
no. I believe that part. I believe to some degree. I don't think it's like completely baseless. And then like he has like supports a lot of like political violence.
Let me do the Hutch. Let me do the Hutch.
But again, like as much as like that versus the neo-Nazi camp, it's like I'm gonna pick that out every day. It's not even close. Like,
it's not an easy choice. Is my point.
It's a pretty easy choice for me.
We have a new attack dummy. So everyone who's talking shit about we need to rename Live and Learn, you can now attack Soy Pill, and I can be aligned with Hutch. I can be part of the 3 libs and the one.
No, I get down here. I go in the Hutch Rumble zone, and you get to be up top. So.
Well, you've been a little quiet for a little bit. Tell us what you think of the Gavin. Speaking of Newsom, the Gavin Newsom Nicki Minaj feud. What are your thoughts on that?
Wait, what is this?
I don't know. I read one article. I didn't know that she was like recently pro-Trump. I guess she kind of had a turn recently, but I don't know what's between them, Gavin Newsom and her. I don't know about that.
Well, did you see the shot that he took at her?
What did he say? Tell us.
It was pretty good. So Nicki Minaj is, I don't know. I don't think she's ever been. Is she explicitly pro-Trump? I feel like she's
kinda.
She tweeted some weird shit during COVID.
She kind of endorsed a little bit. Yeah.
She tweeted that one thing during COVID where she was like, my cousin got the vaccine and grew a 3rd testicle or something. I don't know what she said. So she's always been a bit kind of a dummy in that direction. But Newsom was in a interview recently. I can't remember. I think it was on Pod Save actually. I think he misspoke. I think he meant to say like, I want to see trans kids like in a safe kind of setting or something like that. But he said, I want to see trans kids, and then he kind of like trailed into a different sentence. So conservatives
to trans our kids.
So the conservatives pounced on that, which I do think that's like inelegant language, and you should probably like just clear the record and say what you actually meant. But she posted about that. She was just like, "What the fuck is this all about? Trans kids, blah blah blah." And then Gavin Newsom, through the press office Twitter account or whatever, they just posted a reminder about Megan's Law, which is this law where you can look up to see where sex offenders live in your neighborhood, because her husband is a registered sex offender. So it was pretty fucking brutal. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. Anyways, I just thought that would be a segue, but then it hit a brick wall. Brick wall there.
I think that there is this like thing of which way are the influencers? Which way are the celebrities going to go? And there are some who are kind of like, I look at them and I'm like, that Dexter guy, Sergeant Dokes image that everyone posts around. You know what I'm talking about?
The one who's all suspicious, but he can't say for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I have that with who's the Sydney Sweeney? She's almost explicit about it. Taylor Swift. I'm like, I know you endorsed Kamala, but that's the same feeling I had when I pushed counterpoints. So it does relate, Hutch, because there's just a feeling I get sometimes like, you've been awfully quiet. I think you're gonna vote for Meatball Ron or something. And so I just get that feeling about a lot of people, and I get that from Nicki Minaj. I get it from Sydney Sweeney, and some of them, end up in fucking Mar-a-Lago. Basically, 99% of the UFC is like that. And I think these are the people that individuals are starting to look to more than like the mainstream political figures, which is one of the reasons why I think it's so smart that Democratic candidates are now having like constantly always going on these cultural figures more. And I think it's smart that Gavin Newsom is doing that and having these conversations, as well as the other, potential nominees like Kamala Harris.
I do want to be fair to Sydney Sweeney, because I think she came out somewhat recently and said, I think she clarified that she didn't like that right winger. She kind of hinted that she didn't like that right wingers were kind of holding her up as a icon for the Republican Party.
Seems kind of lukewarm though, right?
It was, but she did push back a little bit. So, that's something. Also, Daz Vidania in my chat said Hassan blamed the Hanukkah shooting on Israel.
Oh shit, really?
And we should just believe that chatter, right? Because Hutch, when you get quoted, listen, he might have.
Listen,
I don't put it
wait, Pisco. To be clear, anytime there's an attack against Jews, there's a reason why Hassan's chat goes into emote only mode. I'll just say that.
That is true.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it?
That's crazy.
It gets pretty bad.
Well, we condemn that shit, and it wasn't. Oh wait, no. This is the one that just happened. Yeah, in Australia. Oh my god.
Yeah,
it was awful.
What's so harrowing is, have you seen the video footage of the hero who goes to grab the gun?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got shot twice by the other shooter. Yeah, that's wild.
That is some of the most insane footage I've ever seen.
Can we talk about that too? Because okay, well, let's move
next
on.
topic.
The idea that like conservatives are using this as an example of like, oh, you think gun control works? Well, Australia has all this gun control and this still happened, and they really ignore the fact that one, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, did the shooters, at least one of the shooters, had a bolt action, right? It was like a much harder to cycle and get a lot of rounds off gun. And two, this is like the second one in fucking forever. So it's
the most. I think it's the most death for a terrorist attack in Australia's history. Perhaps it's up there. That is not a country that has a lot of gun violence. There was a big shooting some years ago, and the Liberal Party, which over there is the more conservative party, they had like a big gun buyback situation in response to that tragedy. So they took it very, very seriously. It's a tragedy, but you just compare, and they like the gun epidemic in America is nothing like what you see in other countries, including like Japan, Australia, these places. For them, for us, it's almost like a daily, weekly occurrence that this kind of shit happens. For them, it's much more unique.
I think one of you guys in the chat referenced like, should we talk about the shooting or something? And in my mind, I was like, wait, which one? Was it the one at Brown University that happened a couple days ago? Was it this one on the beach? Like, I'm sure there was at least 2 or 3 others. And one of the victims or the survivors of the Brown University one, I think, is a Parkland survivor. Like this is just like, oh, this just happens to you now. Like it's not just once in a lifetime event. It's like, oh yeah, this might happen to you twice. I don't know if you guys know Hunter, the guy who talked to Charlie when he was killed.
Yeah,
Hunter was in that incident. Like he was next to gun violence. I think his brother is a survivor of a shooting, and his like other family members also like involved in some gun violence. And it's like, this is not, the right wing spin is like, this is like the CIA family of actors. It's like, in the real reality is this just happens so much, and it's awful.
All right, what do you think about gun control for Democrats? They've clearly backed away a little bit, it seems, but what do you think? You support that decision?
I don't think there's any movement behind that. I didn't see anybody saying any solutions like that in response to the Brown shooting. But no, I don't think Democrats are going anywhere near that. It's the argument's over for now.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys. Number one, I'm super desensitized, as you alluded to, Soy Pill. Like I don't really have like a strong reaction anymore when I hear about a new mass shooting. Like it has to be pretty horrific to get my attention. That wasn't always the case. I'm old enough to remember Columbine. I was in high school when that happened. That was like a month or two of wall-to-wall coverage in the media when that happened.
Boomer.
Yeah, and stuff like that happens these days, and it's just like on to the next thing the next day. But then also, like, I'm completely black-pilled on the idea of significant gun control reform. Like, I do think that there are a lot of measures that I would support, but there just doesn't seem to be any real appetite for that in any kind of meaningful way.
For me, it wasn't Columbine; it was Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
And do you guys remember that shooting? And then Sandy Hook.
That one was bad. The Virginia Tech one was like a dozen people got killed, right? Yeah.
You know why I remember that one is because they took down the SNL sketch Dear Sister, where they all shot each other because it was considered insensitive to come out a day after that. And that was That was my 9/11.
I want to, if you want to get a real sense for the character of the enemy, I encourage you guys to watch some of the video transcribed depositions of Alex Jones in the Sandy Hook litigation.
The trial? Yeah.
And when you look at him, and they release, they had the examining attorney has a quote from a police officer who's like giving testimony or says something, and they were stacking bodies of children. Some of the most like grotesque things that have ever happened that have haunted these police officers and first responders for like the rest of time. And to just see Alex Jones sitting in that chair, stone-faced, after he basically accused the parents of those who suffered the worst of being actors, and said that their children either aren't dead or never existed.
And sicked his audience on them, you know.
And sicked his audience on them. And this is the character of the enemy, and he's now considered a moderate. So far, like that we've fallen so far. This guy is one of the major thought leaders among even though he's fallen a little bit, I think, and Candace Owens has replaced a lot of his conspiratorial nature. This is really sick.
I think he's lost a lot of steam, Alex Jones. He used to be way more.
Yeah, maybe he's. Yeah.
Well, he's also like not. He's not fully on the like anti-Israel train, right? And that's like really hurting into his conspiracy audience, because Israel's a big conspiracy.
Really?
Yeah, he's not like he's not anti-Semitic enough for like the Nick Fuenteses and the Candace Owens, so he loses a huge chunk of that like conspiracy audience who's like, yo, the Jews did it, right? Like,
that's pretty shocking. I thought he would be.
Yeah, although he's having like a now semi-consistent appearance of Nick Fuentes on his show, and so like in what sense? But that is because like Fuentes is feuding with Candace Owens, because Candace Owens is kind of on this island, and I don't know what to make of it. What do you guys think of Candace Owens and what's going on in the Republican Party? It feels like the embers have died down a little bit in the MAGA civil war. Maybe it's because it's slow news and everyone's getting ready for the holidays or whatever. But it just feels like that that has not been a diffuse situation yet, and shit's gonna get even worse.
Did you see a leaked press conference footage of Jeremy Boring, the Daily Wire CEO, addressing why they let her go?
Yeah.
No. What did they say?
Essentially, I've never listened to a Republican speak for 15 minutes and just heard the most common sense things come out of their mouth, being like, hey, she's crazy. She's causing internal conflict. She's pushing anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. She's hurting the company cohesion. She's undermining our authority. We're going to let her go. And it was the most like, oh, wow, that was a very reasonable decision from this company. And to think that the Daily Wire is the voice of reason in this situation is mind-boggling, because they are insane people, pushers of hate, just awful people. But then like the Candace Owens of the lot are like so crazy and unhinged that they have to be like, oh, well, that's crazy. I can't. That's too much.
They still have Matt Walsh, who, in my opinion, is like a stone's throw away from Candace Owens. Like, he's not that much better than her. Like, I would say she's more psychotic, but I feel like he's one of the worst when it comes to stochastic terrorism. Like, he's constantly pushing for like a violent conflict or violent.
Sure. These guys are all scum. They deserve each other. Even Ben Shapiro, Ben Shapiro is scum, and they all deserve each other. We need 25 years of democratic rule to put the fucking fear of, I don't know what to say.
Whoa, calm down, Hassan. Whoa.
We need single party rule for 2 decades to undo like this mess. Like, there is no sane alternative Republican. They don't exist. To the extent that they exist, they're marginal figures with zero ambition or power, literally, or they're now Democrats. We need single party rule for decades. And so I understand Joe Biden, like, we need a Republican Party, Jack. But like, yeah, we'll need it in 2 decades once we undo their entire mess, and once we cycle out some influencers and cycle out some candidates.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you, but why do you guys think Candace Owens is so popular right now? Why do you think she's resonating with people?
Because people need their conspiracy fix, and she's well-spoken. She's attractive. She everything's in like a very, I think, digestible format for these conspiracy heads. And because no one else is giving them their like anti-COVID fix, the people who they would typically go to are now running the fucking madhouse. And they have other fucking like fires that they're putting out. And so who else is giving them their fix?
That's true. We should muzzle her by giving her a cabinet position. That's a good idea, Pisco.
The culture war stuff, I feel like the ones that are rewarded the most are the ones who have really mastered the double down, triple down, quadruple down, never apologize. I feel like Candace is probably like, I don't know if the best is the best way to describe it, but like she does that unlike anybody else in that space. I think like nobody does the triple down quite like her. And I think that the kind of like extreme fringe MAGA people online just love that. And, you know, she's their champion in that kind of way.
I think she plays fast and loose with the whole, I got a source on the inside telling me this, and I got an explosive,
it's
like,
so funny
announcement coming in a couple days, right? She's the one who's kind of playing with that. Yeah, she's playing very fast and loose, but I think Pisco's right that she's giving people a fix. And now that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are on the inside and say, trust me, bro, there's nothing to see here, these people aren't satisfied with that. They didn't want to just win and get in power. They want to continue thinking the world is being controlled by things out of their control, because otherwise they have to look in the mirror and realize they're responsible for their situation.
Understand the dynamic here, right? The dynamic is from the outside, you have all of the incentive in the world to say they're corrupt, they're doing things the wrong way. They're all out to get you. It's the elites inside the power. Once you break down the walls and take hold of the power, it's a lot harder to say that and also defend the administration at the same time. And so you have these two different, like, mutually exclusive conclusions. One is that the elites who hold the levers of power are fucking you over and they're responsible, and don't mess with Trump. And because Trump is now the elite in charge of everything, holding all the levers, taking the position of Candace Owens is naturally antagonistic to the aims and desires and perspective of the Trump administration, which is everything's fine. The Patriots are in charge. You can trust us. We're doing things the right way, not like Biden. And so you can't be someone like Jack Posobiec doing what he usually does, or Kash Patel, let alone, who has an official position, or any of these other fucking losers. You know, they let the asylum doors open and put them into the Pentagon press corps. Those guys are usually the ones saying, inside source, fucking Project Veritas, all that stuff. The incentives are now 180'd. The polarity has completely shifted. And so the only one left giving them this slop, there's a huge vacuum. That's filled by Fuentes, and that's filled by Candace Owens.
I had a $10 super chat, so I feel compelled to read it. It says, Crockett is the best sign Dems haven't learned from the general since 2024. It is bad enough that Dems' official Twitter account posted her sexist and racist comments on white men. Wait, did they? Wait, what? What did they post? I think you're reading a little too deep into it, Ace. I think like she's one candidate in one state. And so,
hold on. I heard we have some disagreements here about Jasmine Crockett. Is that true? Or are there some Jasmine Crockett doubters on the panel here?
Didn't we talk about it
in a couple days? We did, but
yeah,
it's been a couple days since.
I apologized. I apologized to IRI.
What did you apologize for?
Well, I just think I was talking out of turn when I was commenting on the Senate race. I didn't really know a lot about it, and I was making assumptions and just.
But you said as much like in your.
I'm not fishing for that. I'm genuinely curious if people are sour on Jasmine after a week.
I'm again one of those, like, I really like Jasmine Crockett. I'm still skeptical of her ability to win an election. I didn't love her campaign announcement, but I don't not like her. I wanted to win.
I liked it. It was for me. It was made for me.
Well, but there's people out there that are like, we're gonna lose. Jasmine's terrible, and I just don't think you burn the boats like that. I mean, she will not be in the House in 2027, and I don't think she runs unless she thinks she can win.
Yeah, and if she's not gonna win the general, she won't probably win the primary. Tallarico will win, so it's like,
well, Tallarico. To be clear, Tallarico is we'll take the averages. He's somewhere between like 8 and 12 points behind her in most of the primary polls.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That is actually, that sounds bad. That is not bad at all for someone like him who was in total obscurity, basically outside of Texas politics. Just like 3 months ago, for someone like him to only be down 8 points to Jasmine Crockett, I think he can for sure still win this thing. And I'm super Tallarico pilled. He did a Jubilee recently that a lot of people are talking about. I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen a lot of people comment that he did a really good job. But like, I'm in my head thinking like, is this guy going to be president one day? Like, that's how Tallarico pilled I am.
He needs the live and learn endorsement. That's he needs to. Sorry,
he's got my endorsement.
That'll make the difference.
He's got my endorsement.
Speaking of people who maybe
you've endorsed. Wait, Hutch is endorsed.
Yeah,
we should have a list of our endorsements for the primaries. And so on the Wikipedia, it'll say under other, because you know that it's like all the representatives, and then other, it'll say Hutch, streamer. I think that'd be fucking cool. You know, actually have a source for that. You know,
nice.
That would be cool.
Well, what do you guys think of, speaking of people who maybe can't win? Kamala Harris is like definitely gearing up for the rerun. Do you think this is a good idea? Bad idea?
I don't think it's a good idea.
I don't mind it at all. I think it would be a different side of Kamala. She's not going to bring the I love Dougie squishy Kamala to the 2028 campaign. I think she would bring a toughness to match where people are at.
She would not be my first pick right now, but just to be clear, she can 1000% win in 2028, especially with the climate shifting the way that it very clearly is away from Republicans right now. She's, to IRI's point, she'll have like over a year, you know, to put a campaign together. I assume a lot of these candidates are going to announce. It seems like the candidates are announcing like a lot sooner in the modern era. And so I think we'll have a good sense of who the candidates are, and probably like a year and a half, you know,
after the midterms, you think?
After midterms.
It'll be after the midterms, but I'm thinking shortly after, you know, like I think it'll be within a few months after the midterms.
2-year campaign for sure. Well,
you guys ever watched the Goose? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say Gallego seems like he's gearing up. Mark Kelly, we're gonna have a fantastic group to pick from.
It'll be a nice field. I'm interested in having a competitive primary. But have you guys ever watched the Goosebumps series?
The original, yeah.
With like the theme song, like dun 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 dun. That's like what went through my head when I saw that Kamala's very, very serious about her run. Okay,
but you think she could win, right? Like you wouldn't count her out, right?
By could, do you mean it's logically possible that she
I think
win?
Do you think she has
a decent chance? Yeah.
Would have a good.
I think she has a decent chance, but I want more than a decent chance. I want someone with like with a little bit more true grit, who I'm a little bit more have a stronger prior that they're going to be able to like actually perform better and seem less stiff and seem more personable and charismatic. I've seen Kamala Harris. I respect her.
You think a woman can't do it? I'm hearing it.
No. You know, I love AOC, and you know that she's mine.
I love the ladies. Okay.
I love Krabby Patties. No. So it ain't about that. All I'm saying is I think that I respect a shit ton of what Kamala Harris did. I thought she was honorable in stepping in for Joe Biden, and she saved, in many respects, our republic by stopping the bleeding. And I will always, always, always respect and commend Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for what they did. I thought that with the hand that they played it decently, and I think honorably, and I have no problem saying that whatsoever. Fuck Ogre Boy in the chat. Fuck all the lefties who talk that shit, because she did an admirable job, and I respect her for it. But she shouldn't run again, in my opinion.
It's surprising to me to hear you say that you want someone with more grit, because I understand that take in the context of her 2024 campaign. But outside of that campaign, and even during that campaign at times, like she has a lot of grit, bro. Like look at her career. I mean, look at her moments when she was on subcommittee hearings, when she was in the Senate. She was a fucking bulldog. And also she dismantled Trump in that debate. Yeah. She had so much grit in that debate.
She just needs to talk more like a normal person, you know? That's what I mean. Like, just talk like you're normal, you know? I don't know. Maybe that's like weird coming from me saying that, but like we pick so many, because I talk not normal and people really hate the way I fucking talk. But I just feel like a lot of our candidates kind of have this cadence, and like you're like waiting on every word. And this also happened for Tim Walz in the debate, where like you are drenched in sweat whenever they're in these like high stress moments that they're not going to say like completely fuck up or say some nonsense words. And so maybe that is what's causing me to have concerns. But obviously, if she wins the primary, I will proudly support her for president.
What if she came out with a video shitting on Ethan Klein?
Oh my God. And I have to say, Mr. Klein, sir. No. I mean, guys, let's not do this. Don't pretend that I'm Ethan's biggest hater. I want Ethan to succeed. I want Ethan to go back to his glorious past and be the copyright demon that we always know that he can be. And I love the old H3 aspects about it. I think that I probably share more politics with Ethan than I do with a lot of these lefties. But
I'm sure you do, by the way.
Let's just. Do you agree, or are you saying that sarcastically?
No. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being serious. Yeah, I think you guys line up. Yeah.
So I want what's best for Ethan, and Ethan just needs to drop the bullshit and be like, yeah, I kind of let one go. I got a little mad, and I said a couple lies, and that's all that we got to do. That's the shit.
I had another $10 donation from Vishy about Crockett. He said, if you want to get rolled in the general, you want Crockett. If you want the down ballot races to go well, run Tallarico. Crockett will get us destroyed based on her whitewashing comments, the slave mentality comments, the cotton picking comments. I mean, we've talked about this, I feel like five times, but she's just very, very partisan in a state like Texas. I don't know. That's dubious to me.
Well,
what I think should matter is Israel. I'm just kidding. And
how will Texas assist Israel?
I like how real she is. We don't have a lot of politicians like that just say it like it is, and I think she's got that. She has something special. Can't deny her that.
No one can say IRI is unfair. He loves every shade of blue in our Democratic Party. And
everything from Mike Bloomberg to Bernie Sanders on my wall. I love them all, dude. I collect them all.
She's never run. I'm just saying, she's literally never run in a competitive race, like ever. Like she's won primaries, but in her primary, but in the seat that she occupies, none of those have ever been close. Like once she made it to the general, she's never actually had a close election. Tallarico, on the other hand, flipped the seat in the Texas legislature and has run competitive races in Texas. So another.
I don't think it's going to be like an acrimonious primary between the two of them. I don't know. I feel like
I don't think so.
Yeah, I feel like they're motivating different parts of the base that will then get behind whoever wins. That's why I see it as such a win-win situation.
I like the problem with Tallarico is his name has a lot of vowels, and sometimes I struggle with vowels. It's a lot easier for me to say Crockett. Like it's just consonants, but L's and A's. That's it's a lot.
Pisco, you're joking. That unironically is probably a serious consideration for so many uninformed voters. It's I can't remember their name. That is a real thing. That is why stage
JD Vance. Yeah, JD Vance. Consonants, right? Kamala Harris. I mean, oh my God, that's I know the K is hard. So that's
you even said it wrong. It's Kamala.
No, that's what he said.
Kamala Harris.
Oh, Kamala? I'm so used to saying and correcting people. I just wanted you to say it wrong.
You thought I said Kamala.
Kamala. I heard it in my head too. Wow.
Listen, I think I'm going to do a little Tallarico thing. My chat's probably heard this already, but Tallarico is approaching politics through a religious lens, and he's speaking to a kind of Christianity that I was raised with. So I was raised in the Catholic Church, and it was. I think a lot of people, when they hear about the Catholic Church, they just think about the scandals, the various scandals, the perceived hypocrisy of insane decadence and extraordinary wealth in Vatican City. But the Catholic experience, in my experience, was very chill and very progressive, and was always been super anti-war, anti-death penalty, focused on Christ's teachings of generosity, grace, forgiveness. These kinds of things. And he speaks to that kind of Christianity. And you just really don't see that a lot in politics. I feel like a lot of Democrats are Christians, but they don't talk about their faith. And then you have the evangelicals that have an insane amount of influence in Republican Party politics. And that is a totally different kind of, in my opinion, very ugly form of Christianity. And so I don't know, I value him kind of representing his faith in that way. And I think that's an asset in Democratic Party politics for sure.
Gavin is definitely lying about his religion. When he had that talk with Ezra, I'm just going to say, and we're talking about religious faith, he's like, I'm kind of culturally, I'm kind of spiritual, man. I'm spiritual. I think he's an atheist, but just doesn't want to say it. I think the same thing about Obama.
What's up with your bot, Hutch? Can you explain this?
I have no idea what my mods did with that Nightbot command. What is that all about?
No, I've not. Okay, Mike Johnson. I don't know. I've never heard of this. What is this? That's your bot, buddy.
I think that one was sham. Could be wrong.
Exposed, absolutely exposed. But you actually, because, all right, this might be a little controversial. I think that there's a great deal of issues with the way religion is manipulated in this country and used as. Now, I understand that there's like a lot of community building and stuff with it, but as someone who's seen it be a cudgel against for a lot of bad in our history, sometimes I get a little skeptical at these kind of like religious fueled campaigns. Are you concerned at all by that with Alrico, or do you think that it's sincere? And
I think
do you have a problem
I think it's very sincere. Like when you look into his background, he's the son of a preacher. His grandfather was a preacher as well. I think he's an ordained preacher, maybe. I think he's Protestant, not Catholic. He went to seminary school, so like, yeah, his background indicates that he's deadly serious about his faith. And when you hear him speak, he speaks with deep conviction. Of course, I don't know this person, and so maybe he's hiding some Puerto Rican family in his fucking basement and torturing them and doing crazy shit. But no, I think he comes across as very sincere to me, and I think that's a kind of like, we need more of that example. Like, in my opinion, like, even though I'm not religious myself, I don't practice the faith and that sort of thing. And but I think that he sets a really good example for what Christianity could represent when it intermingles with politics.
I hear you, Hutch. I just don't think people are ready to break to the left with Christianity because of the trans issue. They'll just go, "What's a woman? What's a woman?" and get all weirded out by that.
No, but I'm telling you, man, that like the faith that I was raised with, and it could just be the diocese that I was a part of in the Catholic Church in Northern California, but there was a heavy emphasis on kindness and not judging people, and they focused on aspects of Jesus' life, like breaking bread with tax collectors and prostitutes. Like, that was the big emphasis. There's a lot of people that practice Christianity very quietly. They don't proselytize. They don't outwardly judge people. They're not like the Westboro Baptist Church. They're just very quiet about their faith. And I just don't think you see
Texas?
Yeah, I'll bet you anything that there's a lot of people that would resonate with that kind of Christianity, in my opinion.
Even I experienced this when I was in South Carolina. All the Baptist churches, there's kind of like a meme where like these people are, Democrats, some are Republicans. There's a lot of homophobia in these communities, but it's not like blatant outright like hatred. It's like, the choir guy's a little weird, but we love him. It's like that, like kind of they put the kindness forward, and they're, even if they disapprove, they kind of put it on the back foot, it would seem. So I think there is kind of, like Hutch is saying, like a hunger or like a more leaning towards that sort of kindness than there is the attack Christianity that you may see that's more popularized.
I do think we have ceded Christianity to the right without, and we have to make up for that by like overtly championing someone. Well, no,
but we should run a devout Sunni Muslim in Texas.
Hell yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody pops up like that, but it's like patriotism. The right has, just in a disgusting way, lapped it up and pretended like it's theirs. But sadly, you have to show, not tell in America. So we need to overcompensate a little bit there too.
I think the Democrats at protesters holding American flags is like such a optical win. Like that just like throws so much of the "you hate America" stuff in the water. It's like, hey, I'm protesting the president. Also, look at my flag. So guys, if you're at a protest, bring a little American flag. It does wonders for your image.
I did. I went to Home Depot. I bought like 5 of them at the last one and handed them out.
Nice.
Please take this.
I was there. I saw it. Yeah. Well, so the 80s were about this like unbridled optimism in America, and Reagan, the conservative, like the religious conservatives really took over, and they really kind of took on that mantle. And then like we went through this period of cynicism and irony with like Gen X and older millennials in the 90s and into the 2000s. And then after, I think it was the war, for the left, it was like, especially after 9/11. Are you guys old enough to remember? Like after 9/11, it was like you saw an American flag and you just kind of assumed that the person was racist, because it was just there was just like an intense anti-Muslim bigotry that was so pervasive, especially after 9/11.
I think I remember a piece of this, Hutch, because yes, but also there was just like the everyone on board with the American flag, so much so that the Spider-Man movies like would just have him run in front of one.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, by the way, 9/11 happened. Everyone, don't forget about that. Look at all these New Yorkers working together to help out Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah.
it was definitely also just the dogmatic, you know, jingo Americanism will kick a boot up your ass, but without the Muslim stuff, there was two sides of that coin for sure.
We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. I get what you're saying.
There was a reason for that, though. Actually, there's a book about the MCU, and there's a section about like the Spider-Man after the 9/11 thing. And apparently, Karl Rove, they brought him in, and he spoke to a room filled with financiers for Hollywood films, producers, directors, and he gave them not orders but like suggestions for how to portray patriotism in the arts, because you know they felt like they had an important role in that moment, but you know it just went too far. And so like for the longest time, to be on the left meant to be kind of like ashamed to be an American, especially during like the Bush years, you know. And then I think like that there was a resurgence of that like times 100 when Trump came into office. But to IRI's point, you know, we do have to have some kind of sense of like pride in the country. We have to have some kind of message that plays into that at least a little bit. And I think it's like not that difficult to be proud to be an American in so many ways. When you look at the civil rights struggle and the suffrage movement, there's all kinds of things that you can point to in American history to make the case that America, for all its faults and for all the mistakes that we made, like it's actually pretty impressive what we've done here, and there's plenty of stuff to be happy about. So that's important. I think Democrats do need to reclaim that a lot, especially, and there's such a good opportunity to do that right now with Trump. You know, like he shits on him. He fucking hates the Constitution. Like
he hates this shit.
We're losers, and we've been losing.
Yeah, he said.
I think that
go ahead.
The line is like corruption, like John Ossoff. That kind of pitch, the Chris Murphy-ian, John Ossoff-ian. I'm trying to make these adjectives; they'll never catch on. These kinds of pitches, where we paint MAGA as corruption, we paint MAGA as fundamentally hating American principles, American values, and there's so much rich examples to draw on. Not too unlike everyone who's having this kind of volatile reaction to what Trump is saying with Rob Reiner. I just saw you respond to Caleb Hammer, Hutch. Destiny responded to Actual Justice Warrior. All these people who are kind of like feigning like the wool was over their eyes. Like,
this isn't who we are.
This isn't who we are. They're
this
just
is
like
out of character for Trump.
There's on all of these different topics, including decorum, and yes, including on patriotism. There are so many juicy examples to draw on from which Democrats can plausibly make this claim. And it's really hard to unseat them from that, from the perspective of MAGA, without us having such a wealth of opportunities to point to. And so, like, in some sense, I'm like, I think that the more Trump fucks up, the more baggage the next Republican candidate is going to have attached to them, and the more plausibly our candidates can reclaim the mantle on some of these principles, including like pro-Americanism.
You wanted me to show this, Hutch? This is
yeah. It speaks. ContraPoints is just nothing but bangers on her Twitter account. Thankfully, because she deleted her account, but then it came back 2 months ago. Thankfully, she's such a great follow. But she posted about what you're talking about, Pisco. She said, very funny watching the right attempt to defibrillate norms of civility they spent a decade killing. Every election for the foreseeable future will be a contest between men calling each other's wives and children fat swine and sodomite imbeciles. You can't undo it. It's
so
too
true.
late.
Yeah. Especially because they got all mad at this, or, you know, they pearl clutched. They're not actually mad, but like, Gavin Newsom said that Elon's daughter hates him. She does hate him. And she's like, yeah, I agree. She changed her own like bio to be like reflective of his hate towards her, who, by the way, he said, my son, like, this is his trans daughter. He said, my son is dead. He was
killed by the woke mind virus.
Killed by the woke mind virus. And then, you know, clearly this is awful, dehumanizing, and like alienating. And when the governor points this out, it's, oh, how dare you? It's like, look who you fucking elected. What he has been saying for the past 10 years. And the thing he said 24 hours later about a guy who just got stabbed to death. Like, please.
He says this is what pure evil looks like, pointing out that Elon is a despicable piece of shit to his daughter. Like, the way that he treats her is fucking evil. Yeah. But Newsom is the evil one for pointing that out. It's fucking ridiculous.
Here's a genuine question I think we have to wrestle with, though. At a certain point, have you ever heard the phrase "fake it till you make it"?
Yeah.
This has been justified, what Gavin Newsom is doing, as a mirror. And I have agreed with that. That what Gavin Newsom is doing is putting up a mirror to Donald Trump and showing for who he is. And when you talk to Gavin Newsom, he really doesn't talk or act anything like the Twitter account is doing. But I think there's a genuine
he's not writing them.
What's that? I know he's not writing them. I just mean like his demeanor isn't that. But at a certain point, I understand them. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to guard off people who say Gavin isn't like that, whatever. But like I'm just talking about the principle, which is at a certain point, when we keep doing a certain action to be a reflection of the other side, at some point the irony stops to be lost, and we just become that. Are we concerned about that? And is that a genuine fear? And when is it? As long as Trump is on the scene, are we self-conscious about it? Because I think that there is a kind of like, well, we're doing this as a meme because that's how Trump acts. But at some amount of time, we're going to lose sight of that. And that's just going to be how the country is. Or do you think that that's wrong?
Show me like a Gavin Newsom unironically advocating for like deporting innocent people or doing any of the policies.
No, he doesn't do that. No.
But the point is like the rhetoric might get as bad. We might get the, like, hey, if he listens to me, he's going to call Trump a retard, right? And that's going to be like an ableist slur that he's throwing at the president. But at the worst, it's the language. And like in comparison to what we are dealing with, which is the potential fascist takeover of this country and the creep towards authoritarianism, I don't give a fuck. And it's not even if it gets as bad, I don't care.
I agree with that, but I'm just here trying to support ContraPoints. It's ContraPoints, right? Her actual point here. And I also think that what you just did there is a little bit untrue, Soy Pill, which is to treat, and maybe you didn't mean it this way, but language and policy as hermetically sealed. I think language and rhetoric like become policy, and policy affects language and rhetoric, and it's impossible to actually like completely isolate them as though they're different. I don't think that you were saying that they are hermetically sealed, but I do.
No, I'm glad you clarified that. I am glad you clarified that, because that is important. Like the language does matter, and actually, like what happens when Trump goes away? Like, do we de-escalate this? Like, are we going to be able to pull back from it? I agree that is something we should look to, because if we don't, now we're the bad guys, and like the Republican Party is going to be keeping up with us, right? Because most of the Republican Party isn't like doing that flamboyant, like Trumpy stuff. It's the MAGA crowd for sure. But like, yeah, if that becomes who we are after they stop, then it's just going to keep escalating. I agree. We do need to keep that in check. Yeah.
Ira, you look like you were about to say something.
Well, I just feel the Gavin Newsom stuff is in response to Trump, and he's not going to keep it up without Trump. And so to me, it's just neutered Trump's venom, his attacks a little bit. That's it. But I don't think there's much more to it. It's kind of like just a joke. And I feel like he'll stop it as soon as Trump knocks it off.
I think, sorry, she's vacuuming. So
okay?
It's filtering it out pretty well.
The way you looked was so disdainful, Hutch. You were like,
well, no, I'm just worried.
I can't believe she's cleaning the house.
I'm worried gonna pick it up and it's pretty loud. Can you guys hear that or no?
Yeah,
just barely.
Okay.
It's don't yell at her, Hutch. We can cope with it. All right.
No,
show her who's boss of the house, Hutch.
Let me add the filter. There's a little NVIDIA filter that I can add. But somebody say something, and then I want to say something.
No, I do want to say something, because we had this conversation about the Charlie Kirk, and you were involved in these conversations, Soy Pill. Should we refuse to condemn? Should we not refuse to condemn? That kind of thing. And even though I take the position that we shouldn't refuse to condemn, I think highlighting the double standard, that position has always been smart. That is to say, at every opportunity, you should be pushing and saying, but the president can't condemn this, but the president can't condemn this, but they will never condemn their own side. And I think the effect of that is the more we ramp that up and the more the hypocrisy is apparent, I think that there is some level of shamelessness that at least some amount of people will be unable to stomach. Now, maybe this is a little bit of copium from hopium, but we are seeing people at least make some intimation that they're unsatisfied with what Trump said. And do I think a lot of it's performative, a lot of it's bad faith? Yes, I do. But the more we're able to highlight the double standard, I think the average person can it benefits Democrats. It benefits our side. And so I do want to keep encouraging that, because that's, I thought, was always a smart tactic.
But it's also the idea of like the way that they view us is as bad as what Trump is doing, so that in their mind justifies what he's doing. So if we do even a fraction of it in retaliation to highlight it, I think that's fine, considering they think we're like, genocidal baby murderers. So it's like, okay, like, oh, you're mad at me for calling out your daughter's hate for you. Well, hey, here's like Trump calling to hang active duty generals. Whatever, I don't care. Like, if you're going to accuse me of the worst possible thing, I'm going to do a tenth of that, and I just don't have a huge issue with it.
I think so much of this we can just lay plainly at the feet of Donald Trump. Like, we were kind of talking about it before. So when he goes, it's not like all the problems are going to go away. But the president is not just the chief executive of the country, like leader of the military. They're the moral authority of the country, and they set the example. And I think when Biden was president, things were still not great, but it wasn't as crazy as when Trump was president. And I think that his brand of cruelty, because that's basically what MAGA is. Like, if I had to give MAGA one descriptor, it would just be cruelty. It's a political movement based on cruelty and animosity towards your perceived enemies. And I think that invites an opposite sort of reaction. And so once he's gone, I do think that a lot of that will tone down to a certain extent. Like, the genie's out of the bottle. And so, I'm not saying it's forever going to go away, but if we manage to elect a president the next time around, let's say in 2028, that stresses the importance of remembering people's humanity and that sort of thing, then I think that will make a tremendous difference. We're not out of the woods completely. But,
I think if it's J.D. Vance and Kamala, or J.D. Vance and Newsom, the Democratic candidate, and probably J.D. Vance won't be posting AI memes of their opponent being locked up, but I'm maybe just being a little too hopeful when I say that.
He'll absolutely do that.
Yeah? Okay, maybe not.
If he's president, you don't think he would? I think he would.
I don't know why we're talking about my AI videos when radical Islamic terrorism has killed 10 times. Like, you can just JD Vance. I don't think he's going to be able to put the pieces together. I don't think he's going to be able to keep it up. I don't think that he inspires, not in the way that Trump does. And similar things with Vivek. Like, did you see the poll? Vivek is down a point in Ohio.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is you're courting a party of white nationalists, and you just happen to not be white. You're going to face some problems there.
Yeah, maybe don't run the Hindu, the Hindu tech. But it didn't matter between Sherrod Brown and who's this loser that they put up? Who's now Moreno? Fernando? Who's the senator from Ohio?
Marino?
Whatever the guy is. Like, that guy's like a scam artist, but he's white.
Yes.
So, Vivek, and he also arguably has some alleged financial improprieties. That was the result, the reason he has any money at all. But no, I think that unless they capture some of the animating spirit of MAGA, which is grounded in identity, and that is whiteness, that is a certain kind of class perspective, and a certain kind of elites versus non-elites. And now we take issue with that identity. We take issue with like that characterization. But for those who don't represent that identity, I think it's going to be tougher for them to sell, Trump's coalition.
Well, I think the senators in Indiana state legislature gave us some hope that there could be a future that is more positive with their rejection of Trump's redistricting demands last week. And I looked into it over and over. I said, there has to be a reason why these guys are doing it, to save their own hide or something. But a lot of them just said it comes down to fairness. And the people of Indiana thought it would just be unfair to the people in the minority. So I think that there's more to the right than just MAGA, and that could catch on.
Yeah, like how much of their awfulness is a product of being afraid of Trump's power.
Yeah.
And then when you take away that capital, and when you take away that power, and you have him in such an enfeebled kind of state that he's in right now, maybe that'll bring out a more decent side to these Republicans. That might be hopeful thinking. I do think that we're always going to have like a little bit of this MAGA ugliness in the Republican Party, but I think they're all gonna have to decide like on the way out, on the way out for Trump, are they going to like, I have a sense, like, I feel like we're probably going to see a lot of Republicans that are going to be more unafraid to be verbally like critical of Trump, and especially in his like final year and a half. And there's going to be, I'm predicting this, I could be wrong, but there's going to be a sense of like, you know, like, well, we always knew it was kind of bad, but they're going to try to rewrite
I hope so.
way. Yeah,
but I don't think they're any less mad.
Let them get away with it.
I think they've never been more mad than they are right now. If any, you know, I just got a DM from a major Republican account that called me the F slur because I said Pam Bondi should resign. Which a lot,
Jesus,
a lot of her. I mean, it was like a major news property. It has like over 400,000 or I don't know 300,000 followers, and it's like a right wing news account. And they called me like the F slur because I said Pam Bondi should resign. So you know, what can you say?
Well, there,
I would say that it's already started, Hutch. That with the Indiana, you know, I can't get over that. But also, like, the attacks are coming, and these guys have to create daylight between them and Trump to hold on to their jobs in the midterm. So I think it's already started, and it's not going to be the last year of Trump's administration. I think it's started. It's already started.
I was going to say, all right, you brought up the Epstein files in the chat. That's, I guess, going to be something's going to come out on Friday. What do you think is going to come of this?
Well, Friday's the deadline. That's 30 days for the Epstein Files Transparency Act, the 19th. So I think it's a lose-lose for Trump. No matter what he puts out, people are going to find the holes and say this is missing, that's missing, and it's just going to compound the problems for him.
I totally agree. I think the law as written has a lot of like loopholes, and because of their conduct, no one's going to believe it. But it's more than just the conduct, which has always seemed shifty, and the provable lies that the administration told about it. It's the nature of the conspiracy itself. It is dogma that there is something greater to the Epstein scandal than as it pertains to Epstein himself and Ghislaine and a few others, right? It's dogma that there's broader democratic culpability, elite culpability, intelligence agency culpability. And so anything that doesn't confirm that, by definition, is not true. And if it's by definition not true, then there must be something hidden. And so anything that doesn't show that is not going to satisfy that base. And so it's guaranteed to disappoint. So what IRI is saying isn't just what's likely. It is guaranteed that they won't be sasatisfied. And you can take that to the bank.
They release the list. And it's just everything everyone's been predicting. It's every celebrity. It's pictures of Trump peeing on a 12-year-old.
But it won't make any sense. It won't make any sense because they'll be like, why did you lie before and say there wasn't? Right. And then,
why did you close the investigation?
Exactly.
All right, you got me. I'm letting it all out.
So they are guaranteed to fuck it up because there's a no-win scenario. That's why it's the most glorious topic to bring in these conversations. And I'm sure IRI has gotten so much mileage out of it on TikTok.
Yes, and the pipe bomber too, because that turned out to be a Trump supporter who believed his lies, and that's why the FBI's been like, "Shh, let's not talk about his motive."
Yeah, the only thing they had, what was it? The Benny Johnson's like, look, he's not white.
Yes, going after Jake Tapper.
He's a black guy.
A teleprompter. That's how the media lies to you. See, I watched the whole video on. Yeah, Asmongold watched a video in front of his audience about a guy going, "This is how the media lies," and he plays the Jake Tapper saying he was white, and he's like, "That's it." And so that's the narrative they want to take from it. So stupid.
Speaking of,
how much mileage,
just endorsed a groiper for a race in Florida. So you know,
the fucking scammer, the scammer guy,
the guy who's like, "We're gonna make the trains run on time," which is like the least subtle Nazi dog whistle, fascist dog whistle you could possibly make. So Asmongold is off.
Endorsed
Asmongold.
Asmon?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
All right. I need a quick check on our friend Kyle Kalinske. Kyle Kalinske, and do you think this is right? Can you pull this up? Do you think? And I actually think that it's fine if you're going to put yourself in the political arena. If you're now going to be the head of Turning Point USA, and you're going to be the head of a major political network that wants to destroy this country, then I think that's fine. I think it's fair game. And I think that you've entered. What do you think?
Well, of course, and if you look at all the stuff that she did, like immediately following with like the performative like funeral videos and like the fireworks at the memorial, and it's like, okay, like you are turning this into a performance, you're turning this into a fundraising event. You're like, these are Charlie's last words to me in this book I'm selling right now for $10.99 on Amazon. It's like, all right, It's over. Like we are making fun of you for this. I don't give a fuck. Like his kids are taking no part in this. I think they should be completely off limits. Like it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, if you're the CEO of TPUSA now,
you're gonna be open to criticism.
Total fair game.
Yeah. I'm glad we agree on stuff.
His edginess is the least of my issues with Kyle Kalinske these days.
Do you like Kyle? Wait, what's your issue? Do we need to have like a fucking therapy session?
He's a mixed bag, like, I mean, when he goes demon mode on Twitter or whatever, that gets a lot of engagement. It's not jokes that I would make, but I'm not going to like browbeat or anything like that. But it's
you would
more
never
that,
hope to be that funny, Hutch.
I just think he's kind of careless. Like I say that, and I had to correct myself about Casey Tron and Frogan, but like I think he's kind of careless about the stuff that he reports on. Like I watched him talking about like the Texas race with Jasmine Crockett, and he was super
with her or about Jasmine Crockett. She would
about.
Okay, got it.
Jasmine. Yeah. And he was like hyping her up, which kind of confused me because Tallarico is like a full-on populist, by the way. So I felt like that would gravitate more or Kyle would gravitate more towards that. But like in that video that he was doing, because he just cranks out like eight, nine videos a day. He'll just like, read a couple
racehorse.
Boom, 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 boom. Like I respect his work ethic for sure, but like I think he could be a little bit more rigorous in his like fact-seeking stuff, because he just casually mentioned that he said that Crockett took money from like a crypto lobby. He just kind of casually threw that out there, and he was like, oh yeah, this is a problem. And then I was like, okay, well, let me just look that up real quick. And it took it was a cursory fucking Google search, and you find out that she didn't take money from this lobby. It was an outside PAC that spent money on advertising for her during her race. She didn't accept any money. I think that is a pretty big difference. Like, I feel like you shouldn't be throwing stuff out like that. You should do just a little bit more research if you're going to do that kind of stuff.
Wait.
I just want to add to this, like, real quick, Pisco. Kyle gets things wrong a lot. And it's very much like this sounds good, I'm going to turn this into a video, but I did not check this sort of stuff. And I've seen like multiple videos of him being like just very brazenly not lying because he thinks it's true, but just not really digging too deep and just kind of be like, whoa, this is crazy thing. It's like a little more sensationalist, but go ahead.
I've seen it occasionally, but I do want to, and everyone's going to be like, oh my God, you're downplaying it. I'm just being honest. I've seen it occasionally. I don't remember those instances, but just to make sure I understand Hutch's take here, it's that he lied or he said something false.
I don't think he lied. No, I think he's careless.
Said something false regarding Crockett, in that Crockett's campaign didn't receive certain funds. It was a super PAC, or it was a PAC?
It was an outside PAC that was it was like a bunch of crypto people that put a PAC together, and they spent money on her race on advertising, but they didn't give her money. That is like a pretty big difference,
Well, I just want to be clear. It's possible there's some miscommunication, because I understand for us that kind of like, well, is it the campaign accepting money, or is it some other group that supports the campaign accepting money? But like, we will oftentimes say Trump took a bunch of money from crypto people, and it's all super PACs, right? And so it could just be slippage on what is meant by like accepting those, like their main super PAC doing it.
Wait, Trump
in their mind,
crypto people pay him for an exclusive dinner where you like did favors.
I know, I know that it's. I'm just saying the way people will often talk, there'll be this slippage between the super PACs, the main PACs that are supporting the candidate, and the candidate itself. And in the mind of someone like Kyle Kalinske, it's all the same thing, even though the law and the Supreme Court has made a distinction between, contributions to a campaign versus contributions to like a super PAC or some other sort of issue organization. In their mind, right, the TYTs of the world, this is all part of some shell game. And honestly, we will oftentimes treat like Trump's financial backers, the super PACs, with scrutiny and have that bear on our intuitions about Trump himself, right? So I don't think I think we need to just like scrutinize what he meant by it, and if it's that slippage or if it's a misrepresentation.
But that's the problem, is like when you're a pundit and you're that big and you're making millions, you should be more careful about that. And like Hutch made a mistake. He corrected it the instant he found out. And I don't know if Kyle's more prone, or I don't know like what his track record on correcting is, but like he should be more careful is all we're saying.
I totally get it. But do you understand what I'm saying there, Soapil? That there is this slippage in language.
It
like
makes sense.
Trump took in like $1 billion from crypto people, and what they mean isn't the campaign specifically. Oftentimes, it's the coffers of the super PAC and the dark money that the Trump people are getting. Well, I'm not trying to be like sweeping. I'm just like, that is sometimes how we talk about Trump and his surrogates getting money and how much like bad people are behind Trump is the nature of the super PAC donations and those interest groups as opposed to the campaign itself.
Dosbidanya with $5 said Kyle's a reporter / journalist. He has an ethical obligation to be careful, and he hasn't. But like, so like the way that he phrased it specifically was that he said that she accepted crypto money, and then he immediately, or crypto like lobby money, and then he immediately followed it up with like, and that's a really big problem. But you know, but I like her rhetoric or whatever. But like, she did not accept. I mean, she doesn't control that kind of spending. You know, like she literally can't say no if a PAC wants to spend money on advertising in her favor. Now, to be fair, her campaign, I think, like welcomed any spending or whatever, but it's not the same thing as accepting crypto money. That has like a very different connotation. I just felt like it was kind of reckless. And to be, you know, that's not even the worst thing. Like he platformed Taylor Lorenz and was all, you know, knives out for the course creators and stuff. And so I just found that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I disagree with that. I think that's bad. Yeah.
Anyways, you know, we don't need to get bogged down with anti-Kyle Kulinski stuff. He's, you know, he is a mixed bag.
Tweet,
like
I was going to say, we were considering having Taylor on. We still can. The door is still open.
Let's do it. Wait, Hutch, why are you against it?
Because, bro, like she's
gonna cook your ass. She's gonna cook your ass on the quote tweet.
She's gonna make you look dumb, Hutch. Especially when she calls you Dan Saltman at the end of the conversation and realizes it wasn't you the whole time.
Oh no.
It's, I don't know. To me, it's like low cow stuff. Like she made a CPS joke the other day. I don't think that was low cow stuff.
No. That was a misrepresentation, Hutch. You got that one wrong.
I know the context. I do.
No. But you misrepresented that, Hutch. That I call balls and strikes. That wasn't fair. That wasn't fair.
Context, because maybe people don't know. So Hutch posted the tweet from Taylor that said like, hey, I would never say that you should go, you know, like, won't someone rid me of this meddlesome priest? Like, I would never say you should call CPS and Ethan Klein and his wife. I would never say that you should report them. And it's like, that looked really bad. When you showed me that touch, I was like, Jesus, I should text her.
Wow, I can't believe she said that.
But it was in response to Ethan Klein saying, by the way, Taylor is immunocompromised. No one should ever cough on Taylor Lorenz. Absolutely no one in Taylor Lorenz's presence should, like, you know, commit biological warfare and like cough.
And that was your boy. That was your boy. And you didn't include that, Hutch. What the
That's important context.
If you guys think that's like similar levels, then
but she's making the point. She's criticizing the logic. She's not actually saying to do it. She's saying, what if someone talked like this, Hutch? And she's not saying that she's not doing it as a tit for tat.
Wait, what she's saying is, even if she is saying that's not as bad as saying someone should cough on an immunocompromised person and maybe kill them. I think that's worse.
Also true, right? Also true.
If we want to be very charitable, there's a couple different ways that you could read that post from Ethan. Like I didn't necessarily read it as him like trying to do like stochastic coughing situation. I didn't read it as him literally trying to.
How did you read it? How did you read it?
You could also read it as I'd have to look at the post.
You could read it, or what's the best way to read it?
Hang on, you have to look at the post.
Let's bring it up. Let's look at it. Wait, we're doing it. We're
fucking doing this, bro.
Are you joining our drama slop segment? Our brief drama.
This shit was unfair because I saw that shit. I'm like, oh my god, Taylor, why would you do this?
You guys, and I'm like. You guys do what makes you happy.
You're like the dad. Like, look, I don't know what a Pokemon or a Digimon is. You kids,
I don't follow this stuff.
You're fucking
I don't follow this stuff. I just talk shit and throw it out there. I don't care.
That's true.
Feelings I hurt. But these kind of segments are good because a lot of people will watch it on their streams, so to bring more viewers. So I don't mind.
Yes, hell yeah.
Lean into the slop, embrace it.
Because really, it's I think to me totally implausible to read Taylor as doing anything other than calling out the logic of people saying, well, Ethan didn't say specifically to cough on Taylor. It's very clear that that's what Taylor was doing. And how Hutch presented it was Taylor's calling for CPS to be called on Ethan's people when it's a commentary on Ethan's language. I think that is. I mean,
listen, I'll meet you in the middle and say, you know what? Maybe that's fair. Okay. I don't think, I don't view those jokes to be on the same plane personally.
No, she's not joking. She's basically complaining and saying, hey, you guys, by your own standards, you would never accept this kind of language. And you would see it as a tacit call for the thing. And so I don't think it's a joke. I think it's like what Gavin Newsom does. She's putting up a mirror in that context to Ethan's language and saying basically nobody scrutinizes it. And I think that's not only is that not a joke, I think it's a true commentary.
You know what? Honestly, that's fair. I'll say that's fair.
All right. I have the post. So wait. Now that you've built the bridge and agreed, we can read the language and see who was right. All right.
Where's the post? Oh, there it is right there.
So
this is defending Soy Pill's queen, Taylor Renz, who he has a texting relationship with. So let's put that out on the table.
Stop. Ethan Klein says, do not cough near Taylor Renz if you see her. I cannot emphasize this enough. Under no circumstances should you ever cough near Taylor Renz. If you see her in a theater, leave. If you spot her on the subway, pull the emergency cord. Do not risk it. You may not know it, but just by reading this, you are currently stalking her, which is a crime. You will go to jail, and I cannot afford to lose any more viewers. So stop thinking about her right now. And most importantly, and I mean never, cough anywhere near Taylor Renz. So this is the same language that she used in response.
The most charitable read for that would be that he's just kind of mocking her sort of her whole thing with the COVID thing, like generally mocking it. But, I will admit that would be extremely charitable.
Yeah, at worst, he's at a complete misunderstanding and thinks it would be funny to like scare her if he thinks she's like completely delusional about the COVID thing. But like,
but you can understand
that people cough on her.
Right. So
potentially be like assault, if not put her in the hospital, which is, by the way, a thing that has happened to her before, not from someone randomly coughing on her, but I do believe her that she is immunocompromised. So,
and Hutch, to be clear, if someone had thought like similarly that Ethan is, and I'm not saying this is true, but like is making a meal out of the CPS report, and there's not really a big fear there. I don't agree with that. And she had started with that. With like basically trivializing it,
it would be a different context there. Yeah.
Not only would it be, but the thing is, I understand it'd be a little bit different. The context there, although Soy Pill just told you she has been hospitalized for that, so it has been actually for her health something where she has to think about it. And listen, I'm not going to say that I disbelieve her because I've had family members who are severely immunocompromised, either because of chemotherapy or because of genetics, because they are actually immunocompromised. So I don't take that lightly at all, even though we might not agree with all of her COVID stances. But I will say, if she had taken that view on the CPS thing, said something similar, it would be universal. People would be like, they tried to fucking do it again. And so I do understand the critique from Taylor Lorenz's perspective. But I think we're all kind of in agreement.
Yeah. Wait, are you still here? Because I want to end on real politics. Okay, maybe he's in the bathroom or something.
You ever choke on nothing?
Huh?
I almost choked on nothing about.
Yes, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
none of you like actually checked in on me. So,
choked on nothing.
You okay, buddy?
No, I'm good.
All right, you're back. Just in time.
Fine time.
Yeah. If you're cool with it, guys, can we watch? I think some of you have seen this, maybe all of you. The clip of Hunter, the guy who talked to Charlie when he died, asking Erica Kirk to condemn political violence from rhetoric from Trump. I think this is like so damning. It's like the full circle of what we're talking about, this like MAGA cult being like upset with, he was a little callous with that Rob thing, but they will never ever criticize him. Can we watch this real quick, or are you guys cool with that?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Because I thought this was such a good, like the most charitable, giving her all the room in the world, and she just would not take the out. So tell me if you guys can hear this.
As you know, the last person that Charlie ever spoke to was a Utah Valley student named Hunter Kozak.
Oh my God.
He was asking Charlie a question that day.
Now it's just like a libs of TikTok like outlet essentially.
And he's here tonight
cringe.
And he wants to ask you a
question.
Why
is Barry Weiss doing this?
Hi there. Erica, I want to tell you how much I appreciate your calls for peace and unity. And I'm likewise horrified by the people in my so-called camp who were cheering about Charlie's murder. I believe that they stoke the flames of violence. But even worse is when powerful, influential people on either side of the aisle stoke the flames. When they do it, the flames can become an inferno. And this leads me to Donald Trump, the most powerful and influential person on earth, who has more responsibility than anyone else to put the flames out. Just last month,
see the gears turning.
President Trump called on 6 Democratic lawmakers to be tried for sedition, which he clarified was punishable by death. He then reposted a simple message: hang them. I think that you've been making strides to bring peace to our country, and that Turning Point has been asking Democrats to decry the individuals who cheer for violence. I have and will continue to decry them. but any good faith effort to stop political violence must hold both parties to the same standard and expectation. So in that spirit, will you condemn the violent rhetoric of Donald Trump, the most powerful and influential person on earth?
What a question.
Real quick, before she answers, if I have one critique of the question, he gave her way too much time to think about how she's going to dodge the fuck out of this. And let's watch your Matrix.
Can we just praise him though? What a fucking Chad.
No, that was so well written.
Well written, well spoken. I will say I don't agree that she's worked tirelessly. Like her after speech in like the monster truck show that they called a memorial was like, oh no, not right there. It was actually the immediate speech that she gave. She's like, I'll echo like a battle cry, and like it was some fucking end time shit. But I do appreciate that afterwards she toned it down. But I just think it's overstated.
Didn't she literally say, "I forgive the killer"? Even
yeah, no, that was
very religious about it. Like
yeah.
Can you imagine? I just had the awfulest thought. Can you imagine if, like, during this question, someone took her out? How much PTSD? He would have,
stop! All right, we condemn soy pill.
I didn't say someone should do it. I just said, wow, like, can you imagine it happened to him twice? That would be so awful.
If soy pill needs to be canceled for that.
I disavow.
I didn't say someone should do. I'm. All right, let's.
Don't care. Disavow.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
I appreciate your question.
Oh.
You know my heart. Why would I ever say, yes, go murder people? This is so much deeper than just one. I understand your sentiment. I do. But this is also so much deeper than just one person. This starts at the home, okay? This starts with family.
Cringe.
This starts with a seed that grows and grows. You can choose to have evil in your heart, or you can choose to have light. What you consume and what you absorb from the outside world will manifest itself.
Oh my God.
No, I will never agree with political violence. My husband is a victim of it.
Oh my God.
I'm a victim of it.
Cringe.
But what I'm trying to say here is that we can blame everyone else. We have to look in the mirror. When you become a father, when you become a mother, how are you raising your kids? Are you taking responsibility, or are you giving them a device and saying, go down that rabbit hole? I'm trying to go to Pilates class. You can just sit in the corner and look at your iPad,
go to the
look at your phone and go down that rabbit hole. And
yeah, Pilates instructors are to blame here, but I will not condemn the president of the United States who is actively calling for more violence, by the way. Like
former Live and Learn host Josiah.
Oh yeah, Josiah
is in the chat. He just said that he workshopped the question. She is tangled up in knots and has been totally blindsided. She's saying a bunch of nonsense right now. Her brain is like malfunctioning in front of us. And you know what? Good job making that question, because this is pathetic. It is pathetic to play on the sentiments of political violence, come on stage in front of Barry Weiss, who's supposed to be like the CEO of CBS and now is like, I guess, doing interviews herself instead of managing the fucking organization. And for her to come on as this fucking, lecturing all of us about political violence, to be stuttering and searching for an answer here is a disgrace. So well done to Hunter and well done to Josiah. Great exposure here.
Yeah, well, let's just finish because, I mean, look, there's 26 seconds left. She probably condemns Trump in this, right?
So my call to action from that is parents, step up. Do you want your kid to be a thought leader or an assassin?
Sorry, I didn't mean
That's where we're at.
Gay son or thought daughter?
Political leaders have a responsibility to turn the temperature down right now. Well, I think everyone has a responsibility.
Oh my God.
All lives matter.
I'm not in control of other people.
Jesus Christ.
I can't control the president, but I do have a direct line of communication to his ear. But like, I just like right here, I think he mentions Trump, and you can see it on her face where she's like, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck. Like, what do I do? It's so brazen. And by the way, to all the people in the chat saying, how are you going to condemn the Ethan comment? The joke about Ethan is like, hey, won't someone rid me of this meddlesome Taylor Lorenz? I'm not saying someone should take out Erica Kirk in the same way I don't think any political violence is okay. I just think it would be hilariously ironic if it happened to Hunter twice, but it shouldn't happen.
Hilariously ironic?
I disavow.
We just start this conversation. We started this conversation being like, how awful is it? And I think actually you said this, Soy Pill, that there was a Parkland survivor who was also at Brown or something, and I didn't seem to recall you saying that was hilariously ironic.
It would be laughing in a horrible, like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe that happened again.
We busted everybody.
Okay, wait. You know the guy who survived Hiroshima and then went to Nagasaki? Like, as fucked up as that
happen?
Yeah.
I did not.
He's telling everyone, like, guys, the craziest thing happened. They're like, nah. And then that's where the second bomb dropped. Like, that's not good. I'm not saying this should happen. I'm just saying, like, that is hilariously ironic that it happened to him twice.
Well,
Pondering had a... Oh, God.
Well, I hear this argument a lot in my TikTok debates. Instead of criticizing Trump, it's both sides are bad. And so I think she's just going through the second stage of grief for MAGA that I talk about. And as Trump becomes more and more of liability, perhaps they'll have the I don't know, the balls to criticize him. But for now, it's both sides. I think this is the best we're going to get out of these people on the right for now.
But it's a tactical and strategic mistake to have this person be at the head of TPUSA. Because there's only so much of like, oh, woe is me, my husband who was killed, that is going to inspire a generation. Unfortunate.
Well,
I mean, it's sad to say, but that just is.
Also, it was like masculine driven, patriarchal. Yep. They're not going to switch to their queen leader mother now and follow her. It's over. It's all over.
Yeah, and it's so funny, like, too, that the idea of, like, the entire contradiction of, like, oh, I think that, like, Charlie's whole thing of women go to college, find your husband, obey him, and stay in school, and now she's the CEO, and it's like, I think this is actually hurting their movement a little bit, where it's like, wait a minute, we don't want to listen to a girl.
She had I think she's 37 years old, so I think she had her first kid when she was 33 years old.
Oh,
and
to be clear, she's qualified. She had her own company and a college degree.
No, I'm pointing out the hypocrisy of her encouraging women to start families early and to forego pursuing a career. When she was the CEO of like a nonprofit, by the time she was like 19 years old, she had a full-on career. She waited to have kids until she was in her 30s. It's ridiculous, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can we talk shit about Barry Weiss for more than a second?
Sure.
This person is so unimpressive. So, did you see her try? Fuck you. You're supposed to be doing kind of some actual journalism here, and you're just doing, as one of your first major events as the new CEO, is to give a platform to this person who is just unable to be objective about her calls for violence, and you're not scrutinizing it. I think that she's a disaster. She's, you know what? I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it. Barry Weiss, you're invited on Live and Learn. And we're gonna grill you on your mismanagement of CBS and your political partisanship in favor of MAGA Republicans. All right, that's our stance here.
Well, she was brought on to balance the liberal leanings of CBS. No, isn't that the whole point? I didn't expect her to be.
I can't tell if you're being facetious, IRI.
No, I'm not. I'm 100% serious that the free press was not exactly some bastion of neutrality, right?
Right. She was installed by Trump associated fucking losers who basically want her to destroy CBS and make it to be another instrument of state propaganda. And that's what she's doing effectively.
Yes. I just feel bad for 60 Minutes. I love that show, but it is what it is. But I actually think she gave her a harder time than necessary by like following up to. And, well,
she actually did make her try to answer. Yeah.
Don't come with that. She said political leaders. She said political leaders. Yeah, and she would.
I don't think she did.
No. What she was doing there was giving her a lifeline. That's the thing is, Ira, it's the opposite. She wasn't pushing.
Failed.
She was giving a life. Yeah. Well, Erica Kirk failed, but Barry Weiss in that moment was giving her a lifeline by saying political leaders, as opposed to, what do you think about that comment by Donald Trump? That would have been a follow-up where I'm like, hell yeah, Barry Weiss, but she didn't. She gave him a lifeline.
All political leaders matter. I think all condemn
that mother, and she knew what she was doing.
Trump, one of them.
Barry Weiss. Oh, Barry Weiss. Oh.
Well, this is what MAGA's doing, is they're comparing Trump to random TikTokers and being like, look at all these people saying these negative things.
Wait.
It doesn't matter if Trump says it.
You need to wait. Hang on. So first of all, you have to show the tweet that Hutch just put up there, but then we really need to end on the one that I have for you.
Well, Josiah's actually specifically requested. This is the Hutch tweet. Okay, cool. that we look at Hutch's new big piece.
She's a doozy.
Hutch is, talking about oh wait, why can't I open this? Microsoft Edge. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm having a boomer moment here.
Yeah, we're all
close
edging.
this and close it. Stop. Oh, I see. Okay, it's a YouTube tab. That's why I couldn't find it.
I use the community post feature on YouTube.
Yeah, me do. I do too. And I realize my thirst traps are being seen by my family, and I might stop.
Oh dear.
So yeah, that's your new gun. What do you have to say about it, Hutch? It looks cool.
That is a Colt 44 Anaconda Magnum from Colt. It's 8-inch barrel. It weighs like, I don't even know, like 7 or 8 pounds.
Jeez.
It's fucking enormous. It's my first gun. I'm taking the safety very seriously. I've spent a lot of time like looking up proper form, proper like safety measures at home. I bought a fucking safe
on Reddit, I bet.
And you know how to clear the chamber, right? You got to look down the barrel and make sure there's no bullet in there.
Yeah. You look directly down the barrel and then with your finger on the trigger. No. What
do you have to go through to own that in California?
Bro, that shit was easy. I went into a gun shop and the whole process took probably 30 minutes. You fill out some stuff, they make you wait 10 days. You answer, there's 10 questions on the federal application, and 6 of them are you an illegal alien? The whole thing was really, really easy. Wow. I thought in California it would take a lot longer, the process, and it would be a lot stricter, but no. The thing's kind of fucked up because you're supposed to demonstrate that you can load and reload the gun. That is a regulation in California. But the guy handed me the revolver and he was just like, okay, just do this and do this. And he just literally just told me exactly what to, I mean, I knew how to do it, but I he was just telling me how to do it. With the revolver, it's pretty fucking basic. You just open the cylinder and you push it out and that's it. But it's comically easy to get a gun in California. Anybody worried that it's hard to get a gun in California?
Maybe for a white male.
Yeah.
No, I doubt it.
Comparatively a little harder, just to be fair, but it's still easy.
Show my tweet.
Did you post another one?
Yeah, this is someone responded to try to distinguish Trump from the Charlie Kirk case, and let's see what they said.
Yes, Pisco, we care about the things that the teachers, nurses, and baristas. Those are an interesting 3 jobs to pick that we interact with on a daily basis say over the president, who we will likely never directly encounter.
Click into it and see the replies.
What?
Click into it and see the replies. No, not mine. No, into
because I'm not logged in. It's gonna not.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it then.
Don't do that on Twitter, man. You never know. There could be porn in there. You never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Twitter's wild.
I think I'm already aren't we some content restricted because we showed a revolver?
Who the fuck just said go back in blackface, Hutch? What the fuck? I've never done blackface. That was Sark and APL. That was after my time. I wouldn't have done that shit if I was them.
But if you do, you might end up dating Katy Perry. So don't write it off completely.
That's true. That's true. What's his name? The Canadian
Justin Trudeau, the prime minister. I guess being the prime minister is more of an accomplishment than dating.
Do you guys know that conservative name like Lily something? Lily?
No.
I think she did blackface.
Okay.
Oh, what that?
I think she did.
That one with the curly hair. She's very proud of her blackface.
Maybe.
She's half black, she says. Forgot what her name is.
Oh, Brittany Venti?
Brittany, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, blackface. What a note to end it on, guys. Guys, what's going on this week? All right. What are you doing this week?
I've got nothing too exciting. I'm just on TikTok, bopping MAGA. So coming out in the morning if people want to come see some debates, see where the MAGA mind is at.
All right. Pisco?
We'll be debating Ethan Klein. I'm just kidding.
That was a bait.
No, I was just joking. No, to announce there's some debates that I'm trying to get these people locked down, but they're so slippery, and they're like, I can't really do it right now. So we have some problems with that. But in general, more stream content until probably like Thursday or Friday or Saturday, where I'll be going to back home for the Christmas holidays, and then so you can see me in like my childhood bedroom for a little bit again, doing those streams. But yeah, no, that's what I got going on. Follow me at Pisco Liddy on all my stuff.
Hutch?
We're going to review some of the debate that Pisco had with Connor on tomorrow's stream. And then we're going to watch the Talarico Jubilee video, which apparently you can watch Jubilee videos on YouTube now without getting DMCA'd, which is nice. I don't think you can make VODs from that, but you can do that.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, because Loner Boy, I keep calling him Loner
Boy.
Well, I don't know where it came from, and now it's stuck in my mind. He did it. I was like, "Did you get DMCA'd?" He said no, and then I tried it like last week, and they didn't kick me off the stream. But
I thought it maybe it's because he has a British accent. It's like transforming the content, but you don't count.
Maybe we'll see. And then I don't know. It's kind of slow for politics right now. Usually the holidays, the Congress is gearing up to go back home, and so
Epstein Files Friday.
Yeah, we do got the Epstein Files on Friday, but we'll try to find some drama slop to focus on.
Okay. On my end, guys, I'm going to AmFest on Thursday. I think I don't know if I'm on the Michael Knowles show on Thursday with Mr. Mockler, Adam Mockler.
What?
Yeah.
Look at how he's introducing it like it's just like so.
Well,
like,
I don't know. It could be
like
one of those
Wednesday
things where it's like, with the Rob Schneider thing, we're like, I'm going to go debate Rob Schneider, and it's like you get one question, and then we're taking the mic away, and it's like, okay, it
so
could be
you don't
that.
have the full
but
scope.
I think, they've had me sign the release form, so it's like I think it's actually the Michael Knowles show. But last time he had me on his after show, he fucking didn't even air it, probably because I made him look stupid. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully this one's live.
Try to flirt with him and see if he,
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll try it. If any other things I should bring up to the Daily Wire crew, I'll try as well. So
yeah, talk about Israel.
Send me some, send me some suggestion DMs about Israel or Shapiro or Candace Owens or any of that stuff. Always looking forward to it. But yeah, all right.
Well, I love you guys very much. We'll see you guys probably next Monday, right? Or are we taking that off, or what's going on?
I'll be here. I don't take vacation from politics.
I think I'll be around too.
Doesn't take a break.
I will be around. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Well, I love you guys very
next
much.
week. Thank you all for tuning in. Check everyone out. And it sounds like we got a week full of content from everyone here. So go check them all out.
Yeah.